Coming up on NCC News at 4:45, we'll have full coverage of yesterday's New York primaries.
And the latest on the stabbing of 2 Syracuse football players.
The weather is absolutely gorgeous outside right now and looks to be the same tomorrow. But what can you expect this weekend? I'll have more coming up.
And I'll update you on the NBA and NHL playoffs. NCC News starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to NCC News Live at 4:45. I'm Sarah Valenzuela.
And I'm Max Block. A Syracuse legend passed away this morning, and that's our top story.
The Syracuse basketball community is in mourning this afternoon following the death of Dwayne Pearl Washington.
The great point guard was diagnosed with a brain tumor in the summer of 2015 and lost his battle this morning. Pearl was 52 years old. Louise Chenard is live at the Carrier Dome with more on Pearl's legacy at SU.
That's right, Max. Behind me is where Pearl earned his reputation as one of college basketball's great entertainers. It was here that his signature moment came against BC just 15 games into his college career.
Syracuse, the last shot. Washington, 2 seconds.
Washington was the top recruit in 1983, and Coach Boeheim says Pearl choosing to join the Orange program took them from an East Coast team to a national team. He got his nickname Pearl after being compared to Knicks star Earl the Pearl Monroe. Pearl Washington was an All-American from 1984 to 1986 and was the Big East Tournament MVP in 1986. Those closest to Pearl said he'll be remembered for his kind actions off the field and for his humility.
He's as humble as anybody I've ever known. Anybody. No. He's one of a kind. We're fortunate that we had him here.
As you can see, Jim Boeheim was visibly upset throughout his entire 10-minute press conference before excusing himself. There'll be a moment of silence to honor Pearl at both tonight's Syracuse softball and men's lacrosse game. From the Carrier Dome, Louise Chenard, NCC News.
Thanks, Louise. Of the 92 delegates up for grabs in the Republican New York primary Tuesday, frontrunner Donald Trump secured 89. Trump captured over 60% of votes, with Ohio Governor John Kasich in a distant second, receiving 25% of votes and 3 delegates. Now you can see here that Trump won nearly every single county in New York State, except Manhattan, where Kasich edged out Trump by just 3%. In Onondaga County, Trump captured over 45% of votes. And on to the Democratic New York primary, a totally different picture. Based on the map, you'd think Senator Bernie Sanders, represented by Green, took the state. However, despite only winning in 13 counties, frontrunner Hillary Clinton secured the win in New York. Clinton captured nearly 58% of votes in the state and added 139 delegates. Sanders managed to collect 106 delegates as he received about 42% of votes. Onondaga County, which you can see right here, was one of the pro-Hillary counties in the state.
Frontrunners Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump see their victories in New York as part of their victory tour en route to the nomination from their political parties.
The race for the Democratic nomination is in the home stretch and victory is in sight.
And we've won another state. As you know, we have won millions of more votes than Senator Cruz, millions and millions of more votes than Governor Kasich. We've won, and now, especially after tonight, close to 300 delegates more than Senator Cruz. We're really, really rocking.
The New York City Comptroller is calling for an audit of the Board of Elections. This comes after tens of thousands of registrations went missing from the voter rolls on Tuesday. Executive Director of the Board of Elections, Michael Ryan, says the irregularity is no different this year from past primaries in the area. The board confirms more than 125,000 Democrat voters were removed because of address changes or failure to respond to the board correspondence. With Trump and Clinton winning big in New York, the question now is what's next?
Danielle Gaiman is in the studio to break down how the rest of the primaries could look.
That's right, guys. Trump and Clinton were predicted to win here in New York, but they actually outperformed those polls. Those wins, though, could seal the deal for both candidates winning the nomination.
After yesterday's win, Hillary Clinton now has more than 1,400 delegates in the race against Bernie Sanders. Exact estimates range from 1,427 to 1,450 delegates. SU professor Christopher Ferrisy says the win puts Clinton on a solid track to winning the 2,383 delegates needed to secure the Democratic nomination.
Clinton is almost a lock. Sanders would need to win 2 out of 3 votes going forward in every state in order to have a shot.
Sanders' solid showing in New York gives him around 1,200 delegates. But Ferrisy says Sanders faces an uphill battle against Clinton's support in the rest of the Northeast. And on the Republican side, Trump's dominating win gives him around 845 delegates. Ferrisy says this puts him in a strong position to win the Republican nomination. But there is still the possibility of a brokered convention.
Trump, it's a little bit more uncertain. He needs to win probably a majority of votes going forward to secure the 1,237 he needs so there's not a broker convention.
Ferrisy says Trump needs to maintain his level of voter support going forward to win the majority vote. At this point, there are not enough delegates left for Cruz or Kasich to secure the nomination.
Cruz and Kasich, their only chance at this point is a broker convention. If there is, I think that that's where Cruz has a shot.
And Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Rhode Island are all set to vote on Tuesday. Both Clinton and Trump are predicted to win at least 4 of those 5 states. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Danielle. And now we're going outside to the weather deck with weather expert Maddie Stessman. It looks like you're having a good time over there. How's it, Maddie?
Yes, as you can see, I'm in my short sleeves. I wish you guys could come join me. People are in flip-flops. It is looking so nice out here. The temperature is currently sitting in the low 60s. No precipitation. We've got a light wind, but nothing really to deter you from getting on outside. It really is gorgeous. And if we look at today in history, we've seen a high of 90 degrees and a low around 20. And our average temperature is in around 58. So we're really looking at a typical day actually for April 20th, but it really is gorgeous and we're lucky to be seeing the sun. So I hope you guys get a chance to get outside, and I'll have more at what we're looking into this weekend coming up later in the newscast.
A body was found this morning near Syracuse's Armory Square, according to police. The Syracuse Police Department was sent to the railroad bridge near Walton Street. Police have not released a description of the person, but say there is no indication of foul play.
A Mexico man is now facing a vehicular manslaughter charge stemming from a rollover crash that occurred in late March. That man, 51-year-old Douglas Horton, was also charged with DWI immediately following the crash. The March 26th accident killed 51-year-old Michael Fredette of Oswego. Horton was arraigned in Oswego City Court and is scheduled back June 7th.
The Oneida County Sheriff's Office say they identified the 3 people injured in Monday's plane crash in Westmoreland. The victims are 31-year-old Amanda Odell and 76-year-old James Kapersky of Rome and 37-year-old John Bilo of Frankfort. The Sheriff's Office says Bilo and Kapersky are at Upstate University Hospital in critical condition.
Had already started climbing out of the plane, and there were 2 of them on the ground when I got there, and the one that I tended to was actually on fire. His clothing, what was left of his clothing, was still burning, and he was trying to roll, and he was actually rolling in dry grass, which was catching on fire.
Syracuse University football coach Dino Babers met with players early Tuesday, 3 days after the stabbing of 2 team members. Police say that last weekend, former SU player Nashawn Howard assaulted defensive backs Chauncey Schism and Corey Winfield with a pocket knife. Both players are expected to make full recoveries. Howard was charged with 2 counts of assault in the 2nd degree, as well as criminal possession of a weapon in the 4th degree. At Tuesday's meeting, Babers told the team not to wear SU football clothing out in public and to travel in groups.
Coming up on NCC News, find out who's replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill.
And the latest on the Flint water crisis.
And later in sports, I'll have a preview of tonight's Syracuse lacrosse game.